Good evening, and think about it using common sense. I've been taking a break. This is the first time I've been back on in about at least a week and a half or more, because I had gotten to the point that my brain was just overloaded. You know how sometimes you can overeat, you just feel stuffed. You just have to just wait till it work itself out. Well, the brain is the same way. Sometimes we can get too much stuff in the brain. It's just we just feel stuffed, mentally stuffed. And that's how I was considering or taking in all the uh, nonsense, the stupidity, the arrogance, the ignorance, the hypocrisy, the lies from all of uh, so-called people or politicians or people in charge that supposedly to be our leaders, and also the American people who, without the votes of the American people, these politicians would not be in office. And for the politicians to be a part of something as horrendous and as the insurrection on our capital and the coup and the outbursts of our president and people that he put in office and politicians that support this type of nonsense, uh, and for the American people to support this type of behavior. When it's obvious, I think, then again, what's obvious to me may not be obvious to someone else. But when the truth or what is presented as the truth, when it's put to the test and it's broken down to its lowest common denominator, and if people take the time out to just think, they would see that we're being used by those people that we put in charge to protect us, to protect this planet, and to protect our future generations. They have sold the American people down the river. Because right now, I'm just using common sense. Right now, this country is in its worst point that it's ever been, based on what I'm seeing in the news, based on what I'm hearing, and adding that together and coming to a simple conclusion, common sense conclusion, is that the only people are to blame for this are the people that is in charge, our leaders. And that's where the blame has to fall. But the thing that gets me is the American people have got to take responsibility for this, for a lot of it. Because you keep voting these same politicians in office year in and year out. Some politicians been in office over 40 years. That's ridiculous. You got politicians walking around 75, 80, 90 years old. It's ridiculous. And when you stay in office that long, you get to know so many people. You know what I mean? So you get to know how things work. You get to know who can get this and who can get that done, who can get this done. And people come in, these companies don't be giving these politicians hundreds of thousands of dollars for nothing. These politicians come in office paupers and they leave multi-millionaires. And the country's in worse shape now than it has ever been. Global warming. We had we're talking of inflation. We're talking of gas prices. Some states hit over $6 a gallon, close to $7 a gallon. Um, we're talking about pay increases. That many people, the minimum wage hasn't jumped that much. When you put it, when you put minimum wage on the scale alongside inflation, minimum wage hasn't jumped at all. Matter of fact, it went back. You look at people now, it's hard. It's hard to even get the cost of a decent place to live if you don't have a certain amount of money. You're not making a minimum of 60,000. That's no money. A minimum. How you gonna live? And as far as the poor people, and I keep saying this over and over, the future does not include poor people. It doesn't. There's nowhere for you. I heard an article today say about 1935. No more manufacturing of uh, gasoline vehicles. All electric. If you're having a problem paying your electric bill now, how you gonna first of all, how you gonna afford an electric car? And then on top of that, you got to have your electric gas to go up. And then on top of that, I assume that your insurance is gonna be double because those batteries will, from what I understand, it's almost half the price of the car. So that means everything is gonna go up. So a poor person will not be able to even afford it. And then you have more and more people going out of work because all the jobs that was associated with gasoline vehicles, you don't need them anymore. Don't need them. Um, Solar energy is going to be the energy of the future. And the majority of the solar energy, I think that's one of the reasons why space exploration is so important. It isn't so much the planets in outer space as it is the uh, energy, being able to access energy at such a higher level in outer space to get things done. So it's a whole new world. It's a whole new world, and the only people that's going to be in this world is the rich. And America, or not so much America, but planet Earth, it's going to be a place for scavengers, man. Scavengers is going to roam the top of the earth, so-called middle class, because you won't be able to afford to live in outer space. So the so-called middle class, I see living underground. You're gonna live underground or you're going to live in these secured high-rise apartment buildings where everything is going to be there. So in other words, you won't have to come out. You will not have to leave that building to live and have access to everything that you want. And it's time for people to get real and start understanding this thing. I think that's the reason uh, the title of this podcast was "Separation of the Real from the Unreal Things in Life." And this is what people will have to start doing. Um, People out here fighting against one another, uh, killing each other. You don't even realize. You can't. You go out here and I hear about the killings. It's not just uh, in black neighborhoods, even a lot of it is because it's out of ignorance. And black people have not been uh, exposed to the same level or type of education and the same level as other people, well, say people of color. And there's times that you have to realize that you have to start doing that. You just everything isn't, oh, let's come out with this program, that program, this program. But these programs are not really producing any any major uh, uh, you know what results. It really isn't. I was trying to find a better word, but they're not really producing any major results because look at the results now. Look at the times now as it was from the times back in the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s. These are the worst times ever. And we have all these programs, but none of these programs, which I mean, I'm not, if we have them, you want to do help some people, it's helping people. But you remember how it said that if you want to feed someone, don't give them a sandwich, teach them how to fend for themselves. Educate them. Teach them how to start and work in a business. You know, take money and start a business. Trade schools and pay these business people. Give them an incentive to hire and take these kids on and as apprentices and just give them some work. The government pays uh, a certain amount of money to buy, give you a break, a seven, eight, nine, $10,000 break or payment to purchase an electric car. So why can't they pay these employers, these business people? Pay them, give them a certain amount of money, give them a tax break to educate these kids to teach them how to work. But I realize too, if the less plumbers, the less electricians and carpenters and uh, tech tech specialists, well, then that's more for the other people. They can charge more. You see, so there's there's a system or there's a psychology there's behind this madness of not educating people and not teaching them how to uh, live, not teaching them basic economics, not teaching them law. These things should be taught in school. You understand? The only way I always have a saying sometime, that you pay for what you don't know. And so therefore it's being ignorant is very profitable for the rich. Look how much money. Just take a minute, okay? Let's use some common sense. And just look how much money which this country, America, capitalism, it's about money, making money. That's all. So now what we're looking at what generates a profit. And ignorance generates a lot, lot of profit, you know. And people can't wait, you know. You don't if you don't educate people, they and look how long. Let's take soft drinks for an example. Look how long and the amount of sugar, chemicals in these soft drinks that people have been drinking for the last 60 years, 80 years, these people have been drinking. So are you telling me all this time these doctors, these professionals, these chemists, they are just finding out how detrimental sugar is and these chemicals are to the body, how they can transform our cells in the body, cause our cells in the body to react abnormally. You know, you're not just finding this out. Look at it. I mean, it's. We have children now. We have children diabetics. It's a pandemic. I'm telling you. You know, of people being sick from all types of diseases that's brought on by sugar, kidney, liver, arteries, clogged arteries, going blind. All kinds of things come from sugar. I'm not a doctor. All these other chemicals you're putting in your body. Overeating, you know, because people in the food business, you just want to sell. All you want to do is just make money, 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 money. You don't care how much people eat, or what goes in the meat, or how many times you should eat a day. You suppose common sense say you're only supposed to eat when you're hungry. Why do you think you have so many people that's suffering from obesity? Think about it. These people are overeating. The gyms, I can understand, you know, exercise in gyms because the type of work that people are doing now, you're sitting down most of the time. So we have muscles, we have joints for a reason. Evolution. We wasn't born, we wasn't born sitting down behind a desk, born outside in the jungles, running and doing things, building, moving, lifting. So you develop muscles, you develop joints. So now when that changes, everything else changes. Your bodily function changes. Your heart rate changes. Your eyes changes with the colors and the TVs and the game work. All that changes. When your diet changes, you start eating softer food. So your teeth, over time now, everything changes called adaptation. And it's time for people to start separating the real from the unreal and get real about the important things in life and wake the hell up. Because at the end of the day, you can go ahead and fight, you can do whatever you want to do, but at the end of the day, there is no escape. The only escape is for you to become educated, to understand life, to understand your capabilities, and start working on it and find out what's important in life. and truly separate the real from the unreal. You know, a person, so many people uh, are committing suicide today. To take your own life, do you know how serious that is? Just the thought, just to hear somebody have gotten so mixed up, their mind is so twisted that, or their life is so twisted, which is also the mind, that the only out they think is committing suicide. But when you commit suicide, you take that problem in the afterlife with you. There's no getting away from it. And when you come back, you're bringing it right back with you. And just like what we don't understand about uh, life is this: if there's a physical life, which you can look around and you see physical things, then there has to be a spiritual life, the thought process by which these physical things come to fruition. So if you ever want to realize what is your purpose in life, the purpose of life is to live life and live it abundantly. And you live it through regeneration, transforming the human body, the way the cells are constructed. In the human body, we have old cells die out, new cells replace them, regenerative cells replace them on a small scale. Anything, anything that the mind can conceive, it can achieve. Otherwise, you could not conceive it. The fact that you can conceive something tells you, or it should tell you, that that something can be made manifest. But at the same time, it's not given to you the amount of time, it's not given to you uh, what you would have to do to get it. But that thought, that idea, is telling you that it is attainable. But you have to realize, somebody sit back and take time and just think, you know, there are people that worship, you know, this physical world that we live in was made out of a physical consciousness. You understand? And out of this physical consciousness, with capitalism, everything is about money. And I mean, I think a hell of a system was put together. When you think about it, you got millions and millions and millions of people. And you got to look at the system. You got running water, you got farmers, you got foods, you got medicine, you got houses, you got building this. And this person makes this money, make that money, pass it on to this person, for that person. It's a great system. But what has happened is, you know, money, they say money is the root of all evil. Money isn't the root of all evil. It's the quest for money is the root of all evil by any and every means necessary. And it has gotten to the point that It has destroyed. That quest for money has become a sickness, has destroyed the minds of the 1, 2, 3, 4% that owns everything, the majority of the wealth. You can only have but so much. I don't care how much money you have. It's all in your mind. And it's insane for a person to sit back billions and billions of dollars and you have people in the world starving and they don't even care. And just because you have money, you think these people that got all this money, you think these people are geniuses. Kidding me? It's time for the people to wake up, and at the same time, all these people now that have all this money, but you have a handful of people that have all the wealth that's controlling millions, millions upon millions, over a billion people. These people have to be kept under control. You cannot allow these people to think so much about the wealthy or think about what's important, what isn't important. Because you have to keep these people want to keep them in, keep their nose to the grindstone. So first of all, they won't think about the rich that have all the money and they doing all the work and giving them all the money, how they've been used and tricked out of their money that they really don't even need. But and so it has to be these people have to be kept in line. But that's why I'm saying it's such a great system. If these rich people would all they have to do is turn loose some of the money. And I don't understand for the life of me, why is that such a big, big problem? A birthright should be a bathroom, running water, and a roof over your head should be a birthright for every living human being. Should be. There's enough going on in this world. Everybody can have a job. And the rich still can have their power, still have their money. Instead of having 200 billion, can you live off 25 billion? Don't forget now, $1 billion is $1,000,000,000. That's a billion. That's 1 billion. It's 1,000,000,000. So you think a person can live off 25 billion? These people, some people got 200 a trillion dollars, and that's not enough money. Get it, man? Sick. It's a sickness. And these people, these sick people, are the ones that's destroying the atmosphere. They do whatever they want to do, and it's okay. They do drilling over here, drilling over there, going down in space, doing it, and it's not okay. Because at the end of the day, we're the ones that's going to have to pay for that. All this money going in outer space. Who's going? If you're not rich, multimillionaire, forget about it. Forget about it. And I noticed when they build these houses down, these apartment buildings, they build deeper and deeper and deeper in the ground. Right. And I'm gonna tell you something else. You may not know this, but it's cooler. It's 10 times, 20 times cooler on the ground than it is on the surface. Right. Because the surface is getting hotter and hotter and hotter. So it's not going to cool off. Forget about it. Forget about it. Sea level is rising. Because as it gets hot, the poles are melting. Forget about refreezing the poles. Forget about it. Fresh water, we're running out. That's a reality. Droughts. Will not be able. You can't grow food with soil where there's no water, no nutrients in it. You can't feed the animals if there's no grain grown to feed them. Water, fires, earthquakes, floods. People, these are no. This is no coincidence. This is no coincidence, and it's time for y'all to wake up and live for as long as you can, because people are making. We don't know what they're doing. We don't know what the rich are doing. We don't know. Only thing you know is what they tell us, what you see on TV. Other than that, you don't know nothing. Nothing. And you know that as long as they want you to know it. Certain things they don't even talk about. Right. And I mean, as quiet as it kept, you sit there, you talk about the Democrats and the Republicans. I'm only using common sense. And I'm trying to get you to use some common sense. You can sit back here, you can think about all this mess you want to think about. But at the end of the day, it's all about your life. The life of yourself, the life of your family, and the quality of that life. It's all it's about. It's not, I've never seen people just so get off the grid. In my life, it's just the things that they put before them as being so important. How can someone walk around here and just want to kill someone or hate someone because of the color of their skin? You're sick, man. I don't care who you are. If you someone of color, if you hate someone that's white, if someone white, hate someone black, whatever color you're based on the color of their skin, something is wrong with you. If a person cannot understand and look at this situation, see how things are, people might say, uh, well, you know what? We always talk about white people owning slaves. Well, guess what? They did. What do you say? Well, I didn't own any slaves, but guess what? You are the beneficiary of slave owners. You are. You have privileges and been having them. There's not an equal, there's not an equal playing field. There never has been. You can turn a blind eye to it if you want, but it doesn't change anything. The reality is here, man. I was in the military. I was in the military, and you know what? There was racism in the military. Yes, yes. That's a mentality that's been instilled that they're better. And they're right. They was right. The war between the North and the South, it was over slavery. The South did not want to give up the slaves. And I'm sure the North had slaves too. But that's what it was about. So everything that we're seeing now, everything is a product of has something to do with that. These are not educated college students from Yale or Harvard that's out here in the street that's that's killing people and selling crack. Some of them might be buying it, but they're not out here in the street doing that killing and stuff like that. Because it's education. Education changes people. Education teaches people. And if you haven't been taught, you don't know. Bottom line. And it's beyond me how how I see it. It's a hard struggle, especially. I mean, a lot of people all over the world, all different countries, people struggle. Okay, it's not just here in America, but America is the best place as far as you having the opportunity to get something. But for some reason, it seems as though when blacks get ahead, I mean, they party, they friendly, and some of the most enjoyable people and with nothing, and they can party and have a wonderful time. But when some break out and get something, they forget where they came from. That's what it appears to me. And it seems as if they had to sign a paper or something. Okay, y'all can make all this money now, but you can't go back to the black neighborhood and build condominiums or teach the black people in the neighborhood how to make money and how to take care of these condominiums and work and build schools and stuff so they can develop themselves and teach them and educate the parents and the parents can educate the children. It don't happen. And I don't understand why. How do you think things are going to happen if you don't get in there, get your hands dirty, and help your people? If you think that the slave master, and then I'm not listening to me. See, people have a tendency to just to take something and start running with it. Some of my best friends are other than black, warm hearted, kind. I mean, they're beautiful, wonderful people. We all can be this way. We act the way we act negatively out of ignorance. And that's a fact. And we have got to stop being led around. We've got to start breaking that that this material thing. I mean, it's all right to buy whatever you want, do whatever you want, whatever you want and stuff. But guess what? That's not what life is about. Because on your deathbed, you'll give up everything you spent your life working for to live another day and to spend more quality time with your family. You would give it all up. Think about that. Think about it. So, what is it? What is it that you do right? I mean, you're not walking with all these billionaires and multi-millionaires, and you walking around with all this stuff in a suitcase or something that all these money that you just sleep in and take a bath in and all that kind of no. It's all in your head. You got apartments and houses all over the world. Guess what? You can only sleep in one bed at a time, wear one pair of shoes at a time. And after a while, everything gets old. Everything. Everything. And some of them got so much money they even have scientists that come up with cloning, all types of skin grafts and all this kind of stuff so they can live. They don't want to die. Everybody, once you live 10,000 years, you're gonna come to that point. But it's gonna be pay up time. That's pay up time. And that's what this is. You got to no one can live, I don't care how you think, whatever you say, so you reap, so shall you sow, or so shall you reap whatever you do, whatever you think. You have to answer for it. You have to answer for it. It's all just like I tell people all the time, people don't think about it, how I think, but you got to start using some common sense about this thing. Everything is real. And because you don't see something, because you don't think something is a certain way, it does not mean that doesn't exist. It doesn't. You could have 1 million, 2 million people thinking going right is the correct way to go. Going to your right is the correct way to go. But it doesn't have to be. You could have 2 million people going the wrong way. And that means when you go in the wrong way, you got to answer for whatever is at the end of that journey. And the people that have talked, the people that don't know, and the people that talk people into going a certain way, and it turns out to be the wrong way, well, those people have to answer for those people. Because you don't think so? You don't think how this thing, that's how things in the world work? You think it doesn't exist? I'm here to tell you, they do exist. They are very, very real. You know, where do animals come from? Where do they come from? What are they? Do you ever sit back and ask yourself that question? They are life. Some have 99.9% same DNA as humans. Well, humans are animals, will be higher intelligence of animals, but based on what we do and what I'm seeing, I beg to differ. But animals are real. They're flesh, they're blood. You cut them, they bleed. If their life is in danger, they run. Where do they come from? What are they? What are they? And it's time for people to start thinking logically. You know, it's time to realize to stop letting and living and turning everything over your life and the life of your people and your family into the hands of a few to make decisions that's going to determine the outcome of your life. They don't even, rich people don't even associate. They don't even know how to even associate with you. They don't even know you exist. But yet, all these people making decisions telling you what you don't need, what you do need, what you can't have. You know? Mitch McConnell, for example, I'm just using him as an example. Oh, he goes against Joe Biden this and Joe Biden that, this and that. But you know what? Kentucky, the state of Kentucky has a major floods, flooding. People are dying. It's a national emergency. He has to go to President Biden to say it's a national emergency and send money, which is rightfully so. But that hypocrite, you don't do stuff like that. That's why this country should be united. West Virginia, the same way. Other countries in the West, same way. We don't know what's going to happen. We need to be at this time, this point in time in our life, we need to be together and start operating in a way that we are together. Even though the reality of it is the rich controls everything anyway. So all you do is just think about it. How are you going to take some people that have no knowledge of anything when it comes to government, put them in office, and right away they're going to start making life and death decisions? Saying, talking to this person, talking to the president of that country, this country about certain things. They don't have a clue as to what it's about. But here's the president of the United States. Don't people ever think? No, no. You're just there to set a tone for something. That's all. But we have a chance. You still can live and you can grow. You can love your family, grow up with your kids. You can make something out of yourself and have some peace. As long as I am 74 years old, I have never seen a time when there was peace throughout the world, in this country, throughout the world. Never. Always been something. Always. I asked myself when the Berlin Wall came down, I was waiting for the next boogeyman. Always something. You got to have a reason. You have to have a reason. Make these jet bombers. You got One bomber costs over $1 billion. People are starving. Tell me you don't have money for schools and stuff like that. For people to come to time, if they don't have money for schools, if you can't get money from the government, take your money and build your own school. Put some qualifications on these teachers, man. Go in there with some state of the art programs. You may not have the same quality of school in these inner cities as you have in the suburbs, but I don't see why you can't have the same type or same level of education that they have in the suburbs. It's the teachers. Stop complaining and start doing because it's showing in our children. The jails are full. Over almost 2.3, 2.4 million Americans in jail. And they say 80% of them are people of color. Come on. Don't tell me people of color don't want to commit crimes. But not only that, there's a reason why it's like that. You know? And this racist shit stuff, it blows my mind because the white people have been depriving black people. Okay. They brought them over here from Africa to work the fields in the hot sun. Okay. And to do their work, to give them that free labor. And yet you were man hating them. For what? For what? You should be praising them. For what? They work for nothing. They have built this country. There was things they built in this country for nothing, free labor. So you got to a point where you don't need them, as you don't need a lot of people now with these machines and technology. But it doesn't change the fact that you got your money, you got your leg up off of slavery. And you passed it on down to your children. That's how it was. So do you spend your whole life through life, year in and year out, hating every? No, you do not. It happened. Okay. So what you do is you make sure that it doesn't happen again. You make sure your people are educated properly, financially stable, own a substantial amount of the rock, real estate, businesses. Make sure that you relate. You keep a relation with your homeland. That's right. I don't see it. I don't see. I mean, it could be. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying I don't see it. I'm sure maybe a little bit of money is going to Africa, but every time I see people getting support in Africa, it's 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 white people, Red Cross, and different types of organizations. I don't see no major construction and uh, modern schools and homes, railroads and cars. And every time I see them eating something, it's always like something, a handful of rice or something. I don't see them sitting down at a dinner table eating steak or chicken, mashed potatoes, stuff like that. Whatever. We don't do that. And with so many other people, I find I was talking to a young lady today. What? Yeah, today. And she lives in another country, and she was telling me she here in America, but you know what? They maintain relationships with their country. They help people in their country. The rich millionaires in their country, they go down and they help. They help people that needs help. Not so by giving them, but by helping them and teaching them how to work and how to make money to help themselves. And so many of them do that. But the people here in this country that we have many multi-millionaires and billionaires in this country. What they have, I don't know because I can't talk about it. But I'm just saying, it's not enough that they're doing that we see it. You know, I don't know. And these ministers, they're the worst. They are the worst. They have set black people back along with other people 100 years. They should be doing so much more, but all they're doing is getting that money and just enjoying it and spending it, and then I don't understand it. I don't understand. But we can look around. I can look around at what's happening in this environment today, and I can understand why it is happening. And at this point, I feel as though the train has left the station. I don't even know if we can recover because as we recover, other people are also moving right along. Yeah, we don't even have stores in our own neighborhood. We don't even have a part of town where you can go to and there's restaurants and shops that you could just sit outside and feel safe. And where people come from other parts of the cities and say, "Oh yeah, let's go over here and tonight and have the music out." I don't see it. Where is it? We don't have it. Why? Well, we'll go downtown and that's okay. But because people should go back and forth and visit others' culture. Just that we don't have it in our neighborhood. We're losing our neighborhood. Do you know the city? The city has came up with a program. Gonna give developers gonna spend $500 million now developing West Philadelphia. You know what I'm saying? Paying developers over $500 million to develop West Philadelphia. And it's supposed to be for the people in the neighborhood that's uh, not making a lot of money. Um, they want to help them, give them a place to live, or sell them a place to live now. But you're low income, but I think they say your mortgage or your rent's going to start around $1,200-$1,400 a month. Low income now. I don't know who they kidding, but it's terrible. And then the thing about it is, if you don't own something, it's not yours. We have a situation in the city now that uh, it's a section of the city where it was city owned, and low income families been living there for maybe 10, 15, 20 years or more. But now developers came in, they want to develop their properties in prime territory, prime part of the city. Now those people got to go, and they have nowhere to go. They can't afford to rent anything. So I heard a lady say the other day on the news, "Oh well, the developer's going to help us find a place, but the place is so filthy. It's so dilapidated. It's not even fit. It's not even fit for human consumption." Did we expect any better? They don't care. This is what happens when situations like this happen, and we don't work together to come in and buy these properties up. There's black people. There's black people in this country. That millions, billions of dollars can come in and go in throughout different cities and buy places like that that they could own, develop, and sell them to these people that are at a reasonable mortgage. Create stores, do the same thing, but guess what? No, I don't know what happened. But I've seen people go in and take uh, people on low income because they don't have credit. You understand? They need a place to live. They're charging 5 times more for a place to live than they know is not even worth it. But they're charging because they know they can get it because the people have no other choice but to pay it if they want somewhere to live. Taking advantage of people. This is what's wrong. Everybody's taking advantage. Everybody. And that's the reason why people don't have any money. That's why the poor can't get up. That's why the middle class is hollering now. They seeing what the deal is. They're seeing what time it is. It's not a black and white thing. It's a rich and poor thing. It's a have and have not thing. But if we don't work together as a people and cut out the BS, people, I'm telling you, a hell is coming that you will never, never, never be able to get out of. That's just the way it is, the way things are now. You know, and it always seems as though when things get tight, when you start having inflation and things like this, when things get tight, racism always sprouts up. Because now people saying people that don't hate people that hate people of color saying, "Oh my God, that person of color got no business having this if I can't have it." So now you got animosity, you got hate and stuff brewing. It has nothing to do with it. Instead of you work together, work together. You'd be surprised. Work together, be surprised what can happen. You got to stop all this fighting, stop all this killing, and start practicing love and start saying hello. If you see some paper or something on the ground, pick it up. Pick it up. You get up in the morning, go get a broom. Your neighborhood, your block dirty. Get up in the morning, pick up a broom, go out there and sweep it up. That's where you live. That's showing where you live. Pick it up and sweep it up. I do interior painting and design. And I was doing this place for a lady. And place was in bad shape. So I went in, little or nothing, and I made the place beautiful. You wouldn't even recognize. It. Went above and beyond what I was supposed to do. But it's not so much. I'm at a point now where I just want to help people, show people what they can do. And I turned that place into a palace, right? And it was like a second and third floor building. And I even did the hallway. The lady didn't pay me to do the hallway. But I did the hallway because the hallway was still part of the apartment that I did do. So coming in, you got to make that feel good to come in. Right? And when I did that, people that was living in there, that for I don't know how long did not do a thing because I could tell that when I walked in. Don't you know the day I went in, I saw where they had cleaned the steps, taken out the trash, mopped the floor. I said, wow. Blew my mind. I said, wow. Sometimes that's all it takes. That's all it takes. And that alone was worth it. And that's why I have started a business. It's called New by Lou, and that's what it does. But the thing about it is, people, we need examples. We need role models. We need people to show love, to let people know what it is to do something. That it's okay. It's not. It doesn't kill you to go out and do something that needs to be done without having a price tag on it all the time. But it's unfortunate. That's what a lot of people do. Oh, my business. Yeah, pay me to do that. No, no. If that was the case, if everybody thought like that, you sit there and think about it, you may not be where you are today if that was the case, if everybody thought like that. So anyway, I've been talking and talking and talking and talking. I just went on and on, but I'm going to bring it back on a regular basis. But I want to change my dialogue a little bit. I want to stop talking about this politics and stuff all the time because it really gave me a headache just to see how far from reality that people are when you're hearing all this and you're seeing what these politicians are doing and what they're saying, and then they still on the payroll and they still talking about, well, they this and they that, and they don't even support the president of the United States, but yet when their state get in trouble, who do they gonna go? Who do they go to? They go to the president of the United States that they don't support. It's so much hypocrisy and stuff. It just makes me sick to even look at them, to even think about them, and it's terrible. It's terrible. But one of the most respectable, it was it's two Republicans, and Liz Cheney is one of them, and not to mention the ones that came forth at the hearings. I mean, they are to be commended, but yet at the same time, you shouldn't have to commend someone for coming up and telling the truth. That just shows how bad things really are, you know. And until this country get back behind government and oh my goodness, I have to say so. I want to stop talking, but Supreme Court. Oh my goodness. The Supreme Court is a disgrace. Two of them, three of them should never even have been elected. Never even they was lying even based on what's being told. They even lied from the beginning before they even was confirmed. They shouldn't even be on there in a position for life. How in the world can you believe somebody like that? And Clarence Thomas. Oh my goodness. I don't even want to even talk. I mean, this is the Supreme Court we're talking about, people. This is a Supreme Court that comes in when there is a disagreement, when something needs to be solved honestly, truthfully, to the best of ability without being partial to anybody. We go to the Supreme Court. And now the pillars of the Supreme Court has fallen. Country is only as strong as its government and its rules of laws. People, we need to get that back, or we done. We done. And I grant you, people can say what they want to say about Joe Biden, and he may not be the best president. I don't see nothing wrong with him. I think Joe Biden saved America because based on what's being shown by the Republicans at these hearings, a coup was being put in place to take over this country, to take what rights we're supposed to have away from the American people. And these same politicians that's agreeing with it are in office right now. And then the president is talking about running again in 2024. How is that possible? With his record, what's been proven, what's been put out there, how is that possible? You couldn't get, I guarantee you, with a record half like that, you couldn't get a job. McDonald's would not hire you. They would say you're not fit to work here. We can't hire you. Something's wrong. But anyway, I gotta go. I'll be talking to you all day long. People, I want to thank you. I'm going to get back on my schedule, but I had to take a break. And on that note, good night and have a wonderful, wonderful evening.